Hey, it's Allie Edwards, and I'm here today to take you on a little adventure in my Day in the Life album. This is the first documenting day for 2022. I did this on March 10th, and today my video is going to show you how I am putting those stories, the first stories, into my album. I did another post previously where I talked about my album setup and just kind of gave you an overview of my plan for the year, and you can check out that via the link below. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually stamping on the back of one of the die cut pages that came in the album, and the album itself had a few different textured pages and pockets and things in there. This is from the Basics Day in the Life stamp set. It's a 6x8 stamp set. It has this really big today on it. And I was thinking about what I wanted to put on the back of that die cut card. I've seen some people do some really cool things with the die cut card, and so I wanted to incorporate it. I've seen people put like transparencies inside those circles and a few other different little things, but I just wanted to see what happened if I stamped on the back. The back paper on this one in particular is a coated paper, so you're definitely going to want to use something that is a permanent ink on there. I think the crafters inks that we have in the shop would probably be they probably wouldn't dry on there. Even as I was stamping with the StazOn there, it was hard to keep it in the right place and not slide around. So a little bit of a heads up on that. I'm a big fan of text patterns like that one, like I created on that one, with the black and the white, so I went ahead and left it like that, and you'll see me come back to that again. One of the photos that I took on my Day in the Life documenting day was this photo with my hand and my phone, and I posted it on Instagram on the day of the actual documenting day. And then as I was looking back through my photos and figuring out what I wanted to include on here, I decided to print that out. I printed out black and white. I bumped up the contrast so it was very much just the my hand and holding my phone was the black and white. And then on top of the phone, I put the word art that you can find on my blog for that particular documenting day. So I think it's a fun way to start the album, just kind of filling in a couple of these extra pages too. This is going to go on the back. Obviously, as you can see, I'm using red line tape. I did start using the rolling adhesive on there, and what was happening, it was like, the coating on the paper was pulling up the adhesive, and so the red line tape seemed to work better for that. Using the We Are Memory Keepers hole punch to punch holes after I adhered that photo to the back of that black and white card there. Again, this was included within the 4x6 album itself. While I was doing this, I kept this in here so you guys could see this is where I'm turning around the little mat that is inside my Fiskars trimmer. That when you turn that around, it's like all of a sudden it cuts amazingly well again. And it was a tip that I learned not very long ago, probably within the last couple of years, that you can flip those over and turn them around and all of a sudden your trimmer works way better. Next up was starting to figure out a little bit of embellishing, and I was looking at the different things in the kit and kind of trying to figure out, did I want to add something onto this page here, the die cut page, before it flows into the beginning of the actual documentation. I kind of like having a couple pages here at the beginning with a few other things on them before it goes or flows directly into the actual words and photos from the day. One of the things that I pulled out there that you'll see, I kind of went back and forth with what I might want to add on here. I did grab one of the we have some puffy circles, puffy pleather circles from the currently currently story kit. They were their add-on option this month, and the colors worked perfect with that, so I was kind of looking at using that. And then there was also a larger circle that's kind of the same size as this puffy circle from the currently kit in the Day in the Life kit, and I was looking at that with the word phrase stickers that came in the kit. They are clear stickers. And what I decided to do was just take those clear stickers and add them on top of the circle there to create an embellishment that could go back to back. So on one side of that die cut page, I can have the pleather puffy circle, and then on the other side, I can have this circle that I'm creating with the clear word phrase stickers. I do end up putting the stories of today on top of this one as well. So I've got some layering things happening there. I just picked words and sentiments that related to the stories that I was telling here. This is not, it's not totally specific to any of the particular stories I'm telling. It's just kind of a general introduction into the day and into the storytelling that happened on the day itself. This project is a good example of one where I really like giving myself the opportunity to just do the documenting and then on the day itself, focus on the words, focus on the photos, and then come back later on and actually put it all together. Sometimes when I'm doing this project, I do the putting it all together right away. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a hurry to get it done, and there's lots of reasons for that you guys could probably guess. So this time I waited about a week until I actually put it together, and I'm feeling really thankful for that. Like, I had a little bit more space and time in my day to be able to bring this together, and was able to do it in a way where I didn't feel like I was in a hurry, didn't feel like I was, just trying to get it up just to show you guys what I did. I feel like I had a little bit more time, and it's a good reminder to me to take the time that I need to be able to really enjoy the process of putting these projects together. All right, there you can see where I'm adding that Stories of Today circle, or I'm going to in a minute here, and I'm kind of just double checking one more time that this is actually what I want to do, using that puffy add-on sticker. Sometimes when I'm doing projects like this, I like to keep it right to the kit, and then other times if there's something else that's on my desk that I'm like, oh, this would work really great with this particular project, I'm going to add it in, and so that's what I'm doing in this case. And then adding that other circle right on the back, that's again the one that I added those word phrase stickers, the clear word phrase stickers onto. I am a huge star fan, and one of the things I loved in this kit was the chipboard pieces that have the moon and the stars and the suns on them. So for this particular documenting day, I am adding stars onto each one of the photos, and so I decided to add them onto these little embellishments here as well. You can see that I already have the Stories from Today card. That one actually has the first day date printed on there, and the other card that was next to that was the blog post the Instagram post that I started the day off with. So I just wrote a little bit about what I was doing. Next up in my personal process then was adding additional handwriting, my handwritten journaling onto these cards. I did a couple of them on the day itself. The other ones, I am actually just looking at the photos and thinking back to that particular point in time and writing a little bit about that. I am just using a Uniball Vision Elite pen. Those are my favorite pens, just general pens in life. And I've kind of just started using them regularly. Sometimes I'll grab the precision pens. It's pretty much what's out on the table. I don't know if you guys are like this too. But that's the one that happens to be out on the table all the time. So I'm handwriting on here. I'm making my way, around and across those chipboard half circles on there. I have loved seeing on Instagram specifically different ways that the community has used those half circle chipboard pieces. I've seen them used on the top of 3x4 cards. I saw somebody that was using them on the outside of the 4x6 cards, like on the end of those. Just lots of cool ways that people are incorporating those into their project, those ING chipboard pieces. You can also see here where I am stamping the time on here. Sometimes when I do this project, I'm much more focused on the time, and the time becomes part of the structure of the storytelling. This time the time wasn't really that important to me personally, and so as I was recording the times, I'm just doing kind of like what hour did this happen in. So that's why you'll see 8 or 11, and I'm not even filling in the AM or the PM because I think it's kind of obvious, and I don't even really know if that it matters if it's one or the other. But if that's important to you, then that's obviously available to you, and you can definitely, it's a great way to structure storytelling, and maybe you want to do that on the next community documenting day that will come up later this year. So again, handwriting, underlining, kind of just thinking through how am I feeling. One of the notes I had on this particular picture, Aaron came into my office and he looked at that picture and he's like, I don't know if this picture is sad or if this picture is happy. And I said it's a picture that I took like first thing in the morning when the sun was coming in the bathroom, and I'm like, no, it's just the first thing in the morning. I'm happy. It's fine, because I have taken pictures of myself when I look sad, and so he's seen some of those before too. But all good right now. Well, good is relative, right? Especially considering all of the crazy things that are happening in the world. And that can be, that can be a part of what we document as well. So I did a couple of those, and then I wanted to start just adding them directly into those page protectors and kind of figure out what else I wanted to do. This is where you'll see what I did is I just picked stars, the color of the cards or the color that's on the chipboard piece, and then pick stars that corresponded with that color, and then I'm adding them directly onto the photo. One of the reasons why I like this project, or I have enjoyed this project for many years now, is it can be as little or as this doesn't make sense. You can make it as crafty as you want it to be, right? If you want to do lots of crafty things in here, you can, or if you just want to keep it a little more focused on the words and photos, that is obviously something that's available to you too. So I'm putting them into my album chronologically here, again, adding a chipboard star to each one of the photos. Sometimes when I cut these photos down to 3x4, I'm sizing them myself here at home, and sometimes they're not exactly the right size. So I always pull the my trimmer out and just trim it down a little bit more to be able to have it fit into the pocket. And then I'm pretty much just repeating that same thing, right? I'm adding on the stamped number, whatever the number is. Like the ones that are at lunchtime, I think there's like 3 of them that I stamped with the number 12. One of them was like, it's like I go walk outside at lunch and look at my daffodils, and then I eat my lunch, and then I read something at lunch. That's kind of one of the ways that I like to spend my day or spend my lunch time, and that's the story that I'm writing here on the next few. The next few pieces are just kind of, I'm repeating the same pieces of the process, so I'm going to just play a little bit of music here as those next pieces are completed. All right, that last one I'm filling in there is for the show called Yellow Jackets, which I think is on Showtime. It was a show that Aaron and I had heard about, and on this particular day we finished up the first season that we were watching. It's a horror kind of fascinating show. So look it up if you like that kind of show. It definitely, like, the first season just takes you directly into the second season, which hasn't come out yet. So that's also nice to know sometimes. But I liked including that. I don't always include, like, the very, those basic kind of things like that, or like, what I'm reading in the New York Times or those sorts of things. And so it was nice to include that a little more directly this time. And I had a recent conversation on a story chat that's on our Instagram, the business Instagram account, Allie Edwards Design Inc., that you can check out too, where we're talking a little bit about documenting current events and what people choose to do and not do too. So if you're interested a little bit in that topic, you can hear a little more discussion on that. Here, I'm just kind of putting things back in. I am going to show you, I did one last page at the end because I had the back of a couple back of a page protector there still open. And what I ended up doing is I just grabbed a card from my desktop, which is one from the awesome story kit. And you're going to see it in just a second here. And I paired it with one more photo that I had of Aaron and I. We had a contractor come over to do some bathroom remodel planning. And so I added that in there and just added a couple stars on top. I love this project. It is an easy, achievable project. You can do this no matter where you are in the process right now. Just get your words and photos in there. That's what this one is all about. Also, don't forget that you're invited to join me for our second community documenting day for Day in the Life, which will be later this year, most likely in the fall. We'll also be doing Week in the Life, which is a very fun exploration of everyday life. The product collection for that project will be coming out, I think, at the end of this month, and with most likely documenting happening in June this year. More information on that can be found at allieedwards.com.